So there's actually a new cash advance app that is brand new. I'm so excited to show you guys today. It is through Chime. So Chime is like the most popular banking app in America. And they just released a cash advance feature called MyPay. This is like a well-known app and a new feature, and that makes me excited. And there's low fees too, so that makes me exciteder. I just invented that word. This is gonna happen. I'm cheesy. We know this based off of the shirt. Okay, so MyPay is awesome because you can get up to $500 into your bank account and there's no hidden fees and no credit check and no interest. So yay. The fees are straightforward. It's only $2 no matter how much you borrow. I think that's like the lowest fees that we've seen. Okay, so Chime as a banking feature is really cool. It has pretty much all of the features of a regular bank, just virtually. And it's also super popular. It has 22 million customers. Most of these features are available for free and there's also no minimum balance, so that is also nice. So you can manage money through the account, send and receive money, save in a high yield savings account, which is cool. And you can also deposit checks virtually by taking a picture of them. You'll also get a Chime Visa card, which you can use practically anywhere at 50,000 in-network ATMs. They're also starting with some cashback offers at popular restaurants and stores. And my favorite feature, which we're talking about today, is the MyPay feature. So that's the cash advance feature where you can get up to $500 with no credit check. You can qualify with earnings from a paycheck. You do have to receive regular direct deposits into your Chime account, and you can do this through an employer or even government benefits like Social Security. So it'll tell you how much you qualify for directly in the Chime app, and most people qualify for lower amounts than that $500, so you're gonna see around $50 to $100 to start. So if you repay these advances on time, you can quickly increase the amount that it lets you borrow. And there are a lot of reports from members that their balance fluctuates frequently, so this can happen on a daily basis, so I recommend you check your account and see if maybe you get qualified for a higher amount the next day if you don't get what you want on day one. And then once you qualify and take out the advance, it's going to go directly into your Chime account. So the $2 fee is for an instant transfer, which is great. It's the lowest express fee out of all of the cash advance apps, which is freaking amazing. And if you want it within 24 hours, you don't even have to pay the $2. It'll just give it to you for free. This is like a no-brainer. This is so cool. I love this feature. That's literally the only fee. There's no tips, there's no interest, there's no late fees, there's no subscription fees, there's no tips. I think I said that already. And once your next direct deposit hits your account, it will automatically pay back your MyPay advance. So there's a couple of drawbacks to this product. It's not currently available in all the states. They haven't rolled it out yet because it is brand new. So you want to check to make sure it's available in your state. We don't know when it's going to roll out to the others yet, so it just may not be available yet to you, so keep that in mind. And then the second thing is that you also have to be a current Chime customer to qualify for the advances. Like I said before, you have to have direct deposits into a Chime account. So if you don't have that set up yet, that whole process is going to take a few weeks to get the deposits going and the account open and everything like that. If you need money within 24 hours and you've never used Chime before, then this probably isn't an option for you because you do have to wait to establish yourself as a customer. For the limit, how I said people were saying that it increases or decreases daily, there's actually some complaints already from some people saying that the limit decreased by a lot. So that's something to look into. Again, this is brand new, so there's not a lot of information yet. What's amazing about Chime though is that the MyPay feature is just one of 3 different features you can use to borrow money from Chime. The other option is to set up direct deposits, and you can actually take that money 2 days early. There's no cost, there's nothing you have to do. Chime will just automatically alert you. And then the second option is Spot Me, which basically allows you up to $200 in no fee overdrafts from your account. So if your balance is negative, you can use the Spot Me feature and you'll be able to make purchases through the ATM or through your card. But like MyPay, you do have to have a history of recurring deposits, and it will let you know how much you qualify for. And you can also swap a thing called Boost with other members on Chime, and that's going to increase the limit. When your next deposit hits, it's automatically going to repay that Spot Me balance, and then you can use Spot Me again if you ever need it. Okay, so these 2 options are very similar, the Spot Me and the MyPay. So let's go over when to use each one. So Spot Me is great when you accidentally overspend, so when your account's in the negative and you need to make up for that, or if you need a little bit of cash really fast. You can use it at any time just by using your crime debit card. Oy. You can use it Oh, my poor editor. I am so sorry. You can use it at any time just by using your Chime debit card. So MyPay is good if you need a larger amount of cash and you need more time to repay it. You can qualify for up to $500 with that, but you can only access it once per pay period, so just keep that in mind. Overall, I am so excited to see this feature being released. I'm excited for it to be released to all of the states. Hello everybody, we have found another cash advance app that deserves a review. This one is called OneBlinc. Let's talk about the app, what you need to qualify, the fees, if it's worth it, and how it compares to the other apps. But first, let's talk about the cash advance limit. So this app, along with most of the other apps, will give you a cash advance up to $250. And like all apps, when you're first taking out your first advance, it is not going to give you an amount that high. Now with this one, we do know what the starting amount is, and it's $50. So that's higher than most of the other apps. Most of the other apps start at like $25 and can increase from there. So in terms of eligibility, there's no credit check, just like all of the other apps. Qualifying and signing up to use the app takes 10 minutes. That is quite a long time compared to a lot of the other apps that we've reviewed, and it's also kind of clunky and slow at times. I'm gonna ask you some kind of uncommon information like your employer's name and also how long you've worked for them. You'll need to provide your debit card info that is linked to the account where you receive the payments from your employer, and you'll have to do this before you know how much you're approved for. So like most of the other apps, you'll be using Plaid to connect your bank account to this app. Plaid is a secure platform, and it just is like the go-between between the app and your bank account, basically. No direct deposit, which is great. So if you're a gig worker, there is a possibility that you'll qualify. So they'll say that you have to work with a supported employer in order to qualify. However, we don't, and we still got qualified for it. So I would just try it out and see if it lets you. You'll also need to register your debit card to receive the funds and pay the fees. So as we stated before, the amount that you're going to qualify for first is most likely going to be $50. Now there's a loyalty system with this app, so the longer that you use it, the more it's going to increase your cash advance amount. So after 1 month of using this app, the limit's going to increase to $60, and then it's going to increase $15 to $25.
Here he goes. One step for every dollar you miss the price.
For every month after that you use the app. And this is going to continue to happen until you hit that 250 maximum level. So one important thing to note here is that you do need to make on-time payments in order to allow that amount to increase. If you're late on a payment, it's going to fall right back down to the minimum amount, and you have to start all over again building up that track record. Another very helpful feature is that you can actually set your repayment day before you get the cash advance. It'll even allow you to push that date 30 days beyond your next payday, and you have control over when you do it. And you can do all that before you even take out the money. So we think this is good because a lot of the apps don't have this feature, and a lot of them will just automatically take it out of your next paycheck. So having more control over this feature is very good. We give it a thumbs up for that. Now for the fees, this is where this app is going to get a little bit interesting. So in terms of fees, there is a subscription fee. It's $8.99 to use the app, and you do have to pay that upfront before you even know if you're going to qualify. So that's very unfortunate. I don't like to see that. So thumbs down for that after we just gave it a thumbs up. So in order to increase your limit, how we were saying it starts at the 50 and then it goes to the 250 over time, you have to keep paying for the subscription fee. So by the end of the year, it's going to be $108 just to get to that $250 amount. Does not seem like the best way to do things in my opinion. However, it is really easy to cancel if you decide you want to do that. Unlike some of the other apps like Brigit, Moneyline that are getting sued and have like massive fines because they're making it super difficult. OneBlinc is like super upfront about it, and it's easy to cancel. So at least there's that positive. Besides the subscription fee, there's also an express fee of $4.99. That's optional though. That's if you want the money right away. If you don't want to pay the express fee, then you'll get the money within 3 days. So we recommend planning ahead of time always in terms of express fees so you don't have to pay them. And there's no interest and no tips either. I would say these are reasonable fees, and they are lower than most of the other apps. Problem is, if you're trying to get to that 250 max amount, it does add up to that $108 a year, but if you use cash advances often enough and consistently enough and you're trying to get to that 250 max, then this can definitely be worth your time. Let's look at the ratings and reviews, because after our Beam video from last time, we have learned that it is very important to check those for fake reviews. The same exact review posted by someone named Bruno, Nicole, and another user. And so long story, you can see the video here if you want to watch it. But anyways, this looks promising. There's good ratings on these apps. This one has an average of 4.7 stars on the App Store and 4.2 stars on Google Play. So that's really good. And then if you read through the reviews, there's actually some great ones about people praising the app for qualifying them when they were having trouble with other cash advances. So people like gig workers or people who have not gotten qualified with more of the popular cash advance apps. I would recommend you guys try this one and see if you get qualified, because like we said, we got qualified and we didn't meet some of their requirements. So this seems like an app that's more lenient on who can take out a cash advance. So good signs there. And then there's also positive reviews about the transparency, which we appreciated as well, with the fees and the loan amounts. So negative reviews, as expected, were complaining about the sign up process taking super long. It is what it is. 10 minutes in the grand scheme of things isn't super long, but it is long compared to the other apps that we've used. And they also complain about the app having a lot of glitches, which how did I know? In the beginning of this, I said it looks like it's not super user-friendly. So looks like I was right about that. So just keep those points in mind. But overall, it looks like it's pretty positive. A few other points to note about OneBlinc. We recommend planning ahead so you don't have to pay these express fees. However, if you want your money in the blink of an eye, you can definitely use them. It also seems like they're kind of changing their website over time. So there's a first bit of information that says you have to be a federal employee to qualify, but they are talking about a specific loan and not the cash advance feature, so that can get a little bit confusing. They also have different names. There's like OneBlinc, Blink Loans, and Blink Advance, and they kind of use those three at different times on different pages of the website. So just a little bit of discrepancies there. I wouldn't say it's a super big deal, but it can just be a little bit confusing. There's also a few added extras. There's some cash advance features. We looked at them. They're not super exciting. There's nothing like really out of the ordinary with those. They have credit building tools, articles, and also partner deals to help you manage your money. So if you're interested in any of those features, I definitely recommend that you check them out along with the cash advance option. So overall, I would say this is a pretty good app. The fees are pretty much in line with the other cash advance apps. We don't see anything super sketchy, and we were able to get qualified pretty easily. So we're gonna add this cash advance app to our list of one of the good cash advances to try out. So I'm sure we've all heard of cash advance apps. When you're running a little bit short on cash, you can always use them to take out a loan. One of the more popular apps is Dave. Dave seems great at first glance because you can take out a cash advance for up to $500 and it doesn't require a credit check and there's no late fees. But is it really as good as it seems? Hi, my name is Alexa from Overdraft Apps, and today we're going to be breaking down the costs of borrowing from Dave. Dave is one of the more popular cash advance apps, and it makes it super easy and affordable to quickly borrow cash when you need it. Okay, so I have my handy dandy phone here and I'm gonna pull up the app so I can show you guys what it actually looks like. So one of the good things that I noticed about the Dave app is that it has over 1 million positive reviews combined through Google Play and the App Store. And Dave has also issued more than 50 million cash advances since the year 2017. With Dave, you can get an instant cash advance for up to $500, and one of the good things about this is that they do not do credit checks, so it only takes a few minutes to see what you qualify for. Dave quickly and securely links to your bank account, and then it will go over your recurring income from your job, freelance work, or government benefits, and it'll also look at other financial health factors to see what you qualify for. You'll see what you qualify for within seconds, and usually it's a smaller amount to start, but you can significantly increase that amount over a month or two if you continue to use Dave. So now the question we've all been waiting for, how much does Dave cost? So let's do a breakdown. So the first fee is a subscription for Dave. You have to be a subscriber to use it. The subscription is only $1 a month, so it's not that much, and you can also cancel it at any time. So if you need the money right away, you'll have to pay an express fee, and that ranges from $1.99 to $13.99, depending on how big the cash advance is that you're wanting and whether you get it deposited into your account or your Dave debit card. And then the third fee for using Dave is leaving a tip. So a lot of cash advance apps recommend that you leave a tip to help support the service, and this is usually recommended to be about 15% of your cash advance. Okay, so not only did we analyze the fees, but we also analyzed how much it would cost you to borrow $100 from Dave compared to other cash advance apps. So here's what we found. We found that you're going to be paying around $22.99 to borrow $100 from Dave. So that ranked 10 out of the 15 most popular cash advance apps, which is not that great. It's about $5.42 over the average amount. There are, however, ways to significantly reduce this amount. The first one being if you opt to wait for your cash advance. If you don't choose the instant option and you let it electronically transfer to your bank, it won't charge you a fee. And then also the tip is optional and it won't penalize you for not tipping. You'll still be able to use all of the features of Dave. So if you can't afford the tip, then you can always just skip it. Another thing that I liked is that Dave will schedule an automatic repayment of your cash advance each recurring payday. And if you need a little bit more time, it's okay to push that out a little bit and it's not going to charge you any other late fees. Overall, Dave is one of the most popular cash advance apps, and if you can skip out on those 2 fees that we talked about, then it is a reasonably priced way to get some quick cash when you need it with just a few taps in the app. You guys are looking for some extra cash and thinking about taking out a cash advance, then this is the video for you. We took 15 of the most popular cash advance apps and compared them all so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. Today, we're going to be talking about the app called Vola. The Vola app offers cash advances up to $300. There's no credit check, no interest, and no late fees. There's just one simple fee. But compared to all of the other apps that we've tried, is it actually as good as it seems? I actually don't know. I've got to pull up my chart. That's what we're going to be talking about today, so let's break it down.
Not as well known as the biggest apps like Dave, Earnin, or Moneyline, Vola Finance is a popular cash advance app and makes it easy and more affordable to rapidly borrow a little extra cash when you need it. It's been downloaded several 100,000 times and has received more than 15,000 reviews in the App Store and Google Play.
As with all of the other cash advance apps, Vola is not going to require a credit check. It's going to connect directly to your bank account and then take a look at your gig work and payment history to see how much you're eligible for. It'll let you know what you qualify for within a minute or two, and it can be up to $300. However, when you're first using it, you may have to build up a bit of a reputation before it's going to offer you the amount of $300. So the first cash advance might be capped a little bit lower. Vola will also schedule an automatic repayment of the cash advance once it sees that you have sufficient funds in your account. If you want to be more in control about the date that it pays back, you can also fix that within the app, and there's no late penalty for pushing that date forward. However, you just can't take out another cash advance until the first one's paid off. So first of all, Vola is a free app. You can use the app without taking out a cash advance, but if you're going to take out money, then you definitely need to subscribe. There's a few different subscription levels. We're going to focus on the one that's $11.99 a month, and with that one, you can take out a $100 cash advance. There's no interest and no express fees, and Vola doesn't ask for tips either, which a lot of the other cash advance apps do, so that's a little bit handy. It makes the pricing a lot more simple. So how does this compare with the other 14 apps? So this is our cost comparison chart. We took all 15 apps and we averaged them. So in order to take out a cash advance of $100, you're going to be paying about $16.35. If we look at the cost of the subscription with Vola, which is $11.99, that is $4 below average, so that is pretty good. Also, if you use Vola several times throughout the month, then your effective cost is even lower. Pretty solid choice. Compared to the other apps, it is below the average cost of taking out a cash advance. The only downside is that you may have to wait a few hours to get the money. It's not instant like some of the other apps. So if that's a problem, then you may want to look at other alternatives. But overall, it's pretty good and I would check it out. Today, we're going to be looking at a specific app called Varo. With Varo, you could take a cash advance of up to $250 at a time, and you can take up to 30 days to pay it back. There's also no credit check and no late fees. So far, this is looking like a pretty cool app, but let's take a look and see what it really costs. So far, this is looking like the best app out of all 15 that we've reviewed because there's actually no fees to take out a cash advance. But, and we know that there's always a but with this type of thing, Varo does have some requirements that may not be super appealing, especially if you need a cash advance quickly. So we're gonna look over that today, see if it's actually the best app or if the requirements just aren't worth it. Let's get started. So Varo is actually its own bank. It is not just a cash advance app. It is FDIC insured. It's part of a new breed called neobanks, which are banks that run entirely online and offer more cost-effective ways to bank as opposed to traditional banks. Looking at the app, the Varo app has been downloaded more than 1 million times and has received more than 300,000 combined reviews in the App Store and Google Play. They offer a full-service bank account. There's no minimum balance and no monthly fees. It doesn't offer not for overdrafts though, so if your balance is headed towards the red, you won't be able to spend more than you have. Instead of overdrafts, Varo offers an innovative alternative, which is called Varo Advances. Varo operates pretty much the same as all of the other cash advance apps that we've taken a look at. There's no credit check. It links directly to your bank account and then takes a look at your payment history to see how much you're eligible for. You can also choose when you'll repay that amount as long as it's within 30 days after borrowing the money. There are several requirements that some people may not be too happy with, so this is what you need to be able to take out a cash advance with Varo. First of all, you're going to need a bank account with Varo itself. You can only get your cash advance sent to that account. And then another thing that's not really great is that your account has to be open for at least 30 days before you can get a cash advance. You also need to have made $1,000 in direct deposits to this account within the last 31 days. So there's kind of a lot of restrictions on this, especially if you're just someone who needs cash like really fast and does not already have a bank account with Varo. So there's good news and bad news after you've met all of these requirements. The good news is that your first cash advance from Varo is going to be free. The bad news is that your first cash advance is only going to be $20. You can build it up eventually to the $250 based on your account history and your payment history, but to start, that's a pretty low amount.
Depending on how much money you're taking out, Varo's express fee maxes out at $6.99.
The $20 advances are free. The $50 advances are $3, and the $100 advances are $5. Other than that, there's no subscription fee, no late fee, no interest, and no tip. So it's great on the fees. Not so great with a lot of the other stuff we've talked about. If we pull up our chart here of our 14 other apps that we've analyzed, we know that if we want a $100 cash advance, we're going to be paying $16.35 on average to take out that advance. If you take $100 from Varo, you could see that the cost is only $5. This is the lowest cost out of all of the apps that we have tried. And the feature to repay within 30 days is also handy too. Not only that, but Varo also placed first as the most cost-effective app when taking out $50 and $200 as well. Overall, Varo is a great deal if you have a bank account with them and have been using them for a while. If you are just getting started and you need your money fast and don't want to wait that 30-day period or make direct deposits of $1,000 to apply, not to mention when you do finally take out the cash advance, you only get the $20 to start, then you're going to want to look at some other options. If you're looking for a simple, easy way to get a few extra bucks when you need it, you might be considering a cash advance app, particularly the cash advance app called Klover. Klover offers simple and straightforward cash advances up to $250. It does not require a credit check and there is no interest and no late fees, so that sounds pretty good. But compared to the other popular cash advance apps out there, how good is it? Let's break it down. Okay, so Klover is definitely one of the more popular cash advance apps. It's been downloaded over 1 million times, and it's received more than 150,000 combined reviews in the App Store and Google Play. Klover also offers other features besides the cash advance, like helping you budget, tracking your spending, and monitoring your credit score. And as a fun little side thing, it also has daily prize drawings and you can win up to $100. That's kind of snazzy. So there's no credit check when you're using Klover. It's going to connect to your bank account and take a look at your payment history. You can qualify for up to $200 within a few minutes, but keep in mind that it may cap your amount initially and it can be as low as $5. Klover also sets up automatic repayment on the day of your next payday, and you can push that forward if you need more time without having to pay a late fee. You just can't take out another advance. Okay, so now for the fees and the cost. How much is it going to cost you to use this app? Let's take a look. So the express fee to get your money instantly from Klover is going to cost you $9.99. That is the highest amount for express fees for all of the 15 apps that we've analyzed. So far, it's not looking that great. You can always choose to opt out of the express fee, but keep in mind that your money's gonna take about 3 business days to get into your account. Okay, so one of the downsides, this is the first time I've seen it out of the apps that we've analyzed so far, is that Klover uses your personal data to show you ads and partner offers. So if you are sensitive about sharing your data, then you may want to look into a different cash advance app. That is definitely a downside. That being said, let's take a look at how this app compares to the other 14 cash advance apps that we've analyzed. So let's pull up the handy dandy chart and we can see that across all of the apps, if you take out $100 as a cash advance, you're going to be spending about $16.35.
Taking a closer look at the chart, we can see that Klover comes in 4th place out of all of the apps that we've analyzed. The only fee it has is the express fee at $9.99, and you can even forego that and basically use Klover for free. Sounds like a pretty good deal. In terms of express fees, there are some express fees that are lower, so if you're looking for quick money, you might want to check out some other apps.
Hi everybody, if you want to change the way you think about cash advances, then you might want to check out the app Cleo. Cleo is a hilarious personal finance app that will crack you up so that you might actually listen to it. Plus, Cleo offers instant cash advances called Spot Me of up to $100 with no credit check. That sounds sensational. Let me show myself out. Cleo has over 5 million users and the app has more than 100,000 reviews combined in the App Store and Google Play. This isn't just a boring personal finance app either. Cleo will crack you up and make you pay attention with your choice of roast me mode or toast me mode. Also, if you love memes, you'll love Cleo. Unlike a lot of the traditional apps, Cleo is actually funny. Oh, how dimes have changed. I'm sitting here as everyone is unsubscribing because of my puns. Okay, anyways, there's no credit check with Cleo. It'll link directly to your bank account and take a look at your payment history to determine how much you're eligible for. It is also especially popular with gig workers, for people who work at like DoorDash and Grubhub, Lyft, all of those places. After it determines how much you're eligible for, it might cap you at around $20 to $70 for your first cash advance, but you can work your way up to the full amount. It's also pretty quick. It'll determine how much it can give you within a few minutes, and then you can see the actual money in your bank account within 30 minutes. It'll also schedule automatic repayment of that cash advance for your next payday. If you need more time, you can always push the date forward and it won't charge you any late fees, but you can't take out another cash advance until you pay off that one. So Cleo has a subscription fee. It is going to be $5.99 a month in order to take out a cash advance. It has multiple features that are free, but if you actually want to take advantage of the cash advance, then you need to subscribe. There's also an express fee. If you need the money right away, it'll charge you $4, and this is one of the lowest express fees that I've seen amongst all of the popular cash advance apps. And there's also no tips and no interest, so it's basically just a subscription fee. As you can see, there's many good things about this app. I need to stop because I can sense you're cringing on the other side of my screen. In comparison to the 14 other cash advance apps, we took all 15 of them and averaged the cost it would take you to take out a $100 cash advance, and that average cost is $16.35. So if you use this chart, you can see that the cost of Cleo is $9.99, including the express fee, and that is very low. It ranks the second lowest cost to take out a cash advance of all of the other apps. Overall, Cleo is an amazing app. It ranks second as the most cost-effective app to take out a cash advance, and you can also skip out on the express fee, making it even cheaper, and take out multiple cash advances per month for that one flat subscription fee. Sounds like a pretty good deal. The only downside is that Cleo only offers $100 at a time, so if you're looking for a larger amount of money for a cash advance, then you're gonna have to use a different app. What is up, my people? Welcome to another episode where we compare a bunch of cash advance apps and tell you which ones are the best and which ones have the highest fees. Possible Finance is an app that will let you borrow up to $500 and you don't have to pay it back in one lump sum. You can pay it back over the course of 4 installments. So if you're looking for quick money but don't have an option to pay it back in full, then this might be a good option for you. The app also claims that there's no late fees and no penalties, and that's what we're going to be checking out today. What are the costs, and is this app really worth it? So let's get into it. So looking at this app, Possible Finance is one of the most popular personal finance apps. It has more than 3 million members and over 100,000 5-star reviews. That's pretty good. Possible has also lent over $400 million to its members. You can even qualify if you have bad credit or no credit because no credit check is involved, so that's always handy as well. Possible Finance will link to your bank account and look at your payment histories. It's recommended that you make at least $750 a month in consistent income. and the longer that you've had your account and the higher balance that you have in your account will allow you to qualify for higher amounts. You can see what you're eligible for within a few minutes, and most states start at the $500 cap. However, in California, your cap is $250, so that is definitely something to look into if you live in that state. It's possible to schedule your repayment, and it's usually about every 2 weeks for an 8-week period until you've paid off the entire amount. If you miss a payment, there's no monetary penalty if you push that date out. There's no late fees. However, it does report your loan information to 2 major credit companies. It reports it to TransUnion and Experian, and if you miss a payment or you're late with your payments, that can actually affect your credit score. You'll receive your funds within 1 to 2 business days. Unfortunately, there's no express option like a lot of the other apps, and you'll also pay it back in 4 different installments, and there's an interest fee tied to this too. So right now it's kind of looking a little bit sketchy, but let's see what the cost breakdown says. That being said, let's take a look at the fee breakdown. So there's actually no fees for this app. There's no subscription fee, there's no late fees, there's no express charges, there's no tips. So the only thing that you're paying is interest on the loan. This actually is going to vary by state, and it can be as low as 15% and higher than 25% depending on what state you're living in. So this is definitely something you're going to want to look into before actually taking out a loan. To make this a little bit easier for you, we took the 15 most popular cash advance apps and calculated the average it would take to borrow $100, and that total is $16.35. If you're paying a 15% interest rate on a possible finance loan of $100, then you're only going to be paying $15. So that's not bad, it's still below average. The annual percentage rate is a bit high at 151.7%. However, this cost is annualized, even though it only spans a course of about 8 weeks. You can't get the money immediately like with a lot of the other apps, so that is definitely a downside, but the plus side for this app is that you have a lot more time to pay back the money, and you pay back less than you would with some of these other apps. So that is pretty much the advantage of using Possible Finance. Possible Finance is only available in 16 states, so you may not even be able to use this app depending on where you live, and also depending on where you live, you might have a higher interest rate than if you were to live in a different state. So this is definitely something you're going to want to research before jumping in and taking out a loan with them. Hello my people, and welcome to another episode of Overdraft Apps. Today we're going to be talking about cash advance apps, particularly the cash advance app called Earnin. Now, cash advance apps are great if you're looking for some quick cash. However, there's so many different options, and so many of the options have hidden fees or different requirements. And so what we did was we took 15 of the most popular apps and we compared them all, so you don't have to do that. Earnin is great. It offers a higher amount than a lot of the other cash advance apps that we took a look at. You can get up to $750 per paycheck. If you work today, you can get money today directly into your bank account with no credit check, no interest, and no hidden fees. So let's take a look at this app. Earnin is one of the oldest and largest cash advance apps. This app has been downloaded nearly 10 million times, and it has close to 500,000 reviews in the App Store and Google Play. Earnin's also provided access to $15 billion for its members. That is pretty impressive. So Earnin works a little bit differently from the other cash advance apps. It's basically tracking how much you worked, and then will pay out your cash advance in the amount that you haven't been paid yet. This means that you can take out an advance daily, and you can also do this within minutes with just a few clicks of the app. So first of all, there's no credit check. It's basically just looking at the amount that you've earned through either a gig work app or your employer. And you can also take up a cash advance of up to $100 a day, up to $750 per paycheck. The amount that you can withdraw is based on how many hours that you've worked through your employer or through the gig app like DoorDash or Uber, those kinds of things. And another great thing is that because it is based on your work, there is no limit in the beginning for your cash advances. A lot of cash advances cap you in the beginning, and you can't take out the full cash advance until you've been using the app for a few months. But this one, you can take out money as long as it matches the amount of money that you've earned already, and it has a $750 limit. Like all the other cash advance apps, Earnin is going to automatically schedule repayment and take that out to your next payday, and you can also push that date forward if you need more time to pay it without having to pay any late fees. Okay, now we move on to the important bit, the cost breakdown. So you can definitely use Earnin for free, But if you want the money instantly and not within a couple of business days, you're going to want to use the express option. Earnin's lightning speed fee, which is what gets you your money quickly, can be up to $3.99 depending on the amount that you take out. So the $100 daily limit means that if you're wanting an amount like say $500, then you're going to have to take out a $100 cash advance in 5 consecutive days. And if you need that in a short amount of time, then you're going to have to pay the lightning speed fee. And so if you're taking one out 5 days in a row and paying the lightning speed fee, that's going to add up pretty quickly. They're also going to encourage you to leave a 14% tip on your transaction just to help keep the app running smoothly. You can definitely opt out of this and it's not going to affect what you can do with the app. But it is recommended that you leave a tip. So how does this compare to our other 14 apps that we have taken a look at? We know that the average cost of borrowing $100 is $16.35, so let's see where Earnin ranks. A $100 advance from Earnin is going to cost you about $17.99, and that's with the 14% tip. So overall, it's about $1 over average, which is not bad, and you can cut down some of these costs. If you don't need to use the lightning speed fee, then definitely cut that out, and you don't have to leave a tip, which means you can basically take out a cash advance from this app at no cost. Overall, this is a fantastic app to use as a cash advance app. It has a higher limit than most of the other apps. The only downside is that you can only take out up to 100 daily, and you have to pay that back before you can take out more money. So that might be a little bit of an issue for some people if you need a certain amount quickly. But if you don't and you can plan ahead, then this is definitely the app for you. You guys need extra cash, but you want to avoid payday loans and costly interest fees, then you might be looking into some cash advance apps. Now, there's a lot of different cash advance app options out there, and so what we did was we took 15 of the most popular apps, we looked at all of the cost comparisons, and we determined which apps were the best and which ones were the worst. Today we're going to be looking at the particular cash advance app called Empower. Empower is awesome because it can offer cash advances up to $250, and there's also no credit check, no interest, and no late fees. So this looks like a pretty good option, right? But let's see how it compares to the other 14 apps, and let's do a cost breakdown. So here's the app. It has been downloaded over 1 million times, and it's received more than 150,000 combined reviews in the App Store and Google Play. This app's mission is also to give fair access to credit and help more people reach their financial goals. So it moves beyond the cash advance app, which is kind of cool. There is also an empowered debit card, which can give you 10% cash back and also allow you to access your paycheck up to 2 days early. So this app is cool if you're looking for other features besides just the cash advance. Okay, so let's break down the cost. So the Empowered app, you'll be happy to know, is one of the most user-friendly. It is very easy to get it set up and get started. It's very quick, and its overall format is just super elegant. It does not require a credit check. It's going to link directly to your bank account and take a look at your payment history. In the beginning, you may not qualify for the full $250 at first, but this app tends to qualify you for a larger amount initially than some of the other apps that will cap you at about $20 to $50 at first. And like most apps we've gone over, it's going to set up automatic repayment for your next payday. If you do not want to pay it back that soon, you can push the date out without having to worry about late fees. You just can't take out another cash advance until the first one's paid off. Okay, as always, my favorite, the cost breakdown. So this is one of the apps that you need to subscribe to in order to take out a cash advance. The cost of this is $8 a month. However, they offer you a 14-day free trial.
On top of that subscription fee, Empower also has an express fee for $5.
If you want to skip the express fee, you can get the Empowered debit card, and that will allow you to get instant payments without having to pay the fee. So that's always an option. And then last but not least, it's going to ask you for a tip, as most of these cash advance apps do, and this can range about like 14 to 15% of your cash advance amount. How does this compare to other apps? Let's pull up our handy dandy chart here. So we know that the average cost of taking out a cash advance from these 15 apps is about $16.35 per $100. As I said a little bit ago, the costs are definitely going to add up if you use the express fee on top of the subscription fee and you leave a tip. It's going to cost you about $28 to take out a $100 cash advance. That's not so great. And guess what? This was the most expensive app that was analyzed. That is, of course, including the tip. So if you want to leave the tip out, it's going to decrease your costs. But again, you still have the monthly fee and you still have the express fee unless you want to get the debit card. So that's still kind of like floating around average and not the best compared to some of the other options out there. So overall, if you want to use this app for your banking, if you want to get the debit card, and if you plan ahead and don't need to get your money right up front, then this app is not bad. You just paying the $8 a month. However, if you do need money quickly and you're just a casual user and don't want to commit to the debit card, those charges are seriously going to add up pretty fast. So you may want to look into some other alternatives. Alright, if you're looking for a way to get a few extra bucks into that bank account of yours, then you might want to check out a cash advanced app. We've taken all of the popular cash advance apps and we've compared them, so we'll tell you what the hidden fees are and what you should be looking out for. Today, we are going to be looking at the app called Grid. KU logo. Grid offers simple, straightforward cash advances up to $200 with no credit check, no interest, and no late fees. But how does it compare to all of the other cash advance apps? That's what we're going to find out today. Looking in the App Store, Grid has been downloaded several 100,000 times and has received more than 20,000 combined reviews in the App Store and Google Play. While cash advances are the main feature, Grid Money also offers an unusual service to help you optimize tax withholding from your paycheck and a cashback debit card. So it takes about 5 minutes to set up an account with Grid. It's pretty fast, but it is definitely not as elegant as all of the other cash advance apps. It does not require a credit check though, so that's good. It links to your bank account and then it takes all of your payment history and it determines your financial health from that. And then it gives you an amount that you qualify for. You can qualify for up to $200 per month, but in the very beginning, it's probably going to be something lower, like $50. Now, Grid is a little bit of an anomaly in a bad way because it does not offer instant advances. It's going to take about 1 business day to actually see the money in your account, compared to a lot of the other apps where it takes like about 30 minutes or so. So here's where things start to go a little bit downhill. So to start off, Grid is not as flexible as the other apps that we've compared in terms of being able to push that repayment to a later date. The good thing about Grid is that it is simple in that it only has one fee. There's one monthly subscription fee of $10 a month, and that lets you access the cash advance. Grid doesn't charge an express fee, however, there just isn't an express option at all. That's kind of a downside, especially compared to all of the other apps that do have express options. Grid also doesn't ask you for tips, so it's just that flat $10 per month for the cash advance and you're set to go. So we took all of the popular cash advance apps, there were 15 in total, and we averaged the cost and it came out to $16.35. And so compared to this cost, Grid is looking pretty good because it's a flat rate of $10, so that's $6 below the average cost of taking out a cash advance. You can break this down farther too because you can take out multiple cash advances. So if you take out $100, pay that off, and then take out another $100 within that same month, you're paying $10 for 2 cash advances. So that's like paying $5 per $100 cash advance. That makes this app look great compared to all of the other apps that we've looked at. Overall, Grid is great if you're looking for something simple. The cash advance amount of $200 is a little bit lower than the other apps that we've looked at. So if you're looking for a higher cash advance, this may not be the option for you. It's also missing some features like the express fee, and then also not being super great at accommodating late payments. So I would definitely make sure that you plan ahead before using this app to make sure you don't need those options. Other than that, it's definitely great and it's below the average cost of using a cash advance app. So I would say Grid is definitely an app that you should take a look at. Hi guys! Alright, let's talk about ATM Instant Cash. This is a cash advance app that we have just discovered. We're going to talk about the eligibility requirements, the amount you can earn, the hidden fees, the fees if there are any, and any reviews from other users that stood out to us. ATM Instant Cash is kind of like the other app that we've reviewed called Super, in which you can actually do surveys or play games and earn a little bit of extra money along with taking out a cash advance. And it's also very similar to the cash advance app called Float Me because you can take out a maximum cash advance of $50. So this is an app if you need lower amounts of money, because anything over 50, you are not going to want to use this app. Okay, so as always, when you're first starting out with the apps, they're going to offer you a lower amount. It's looking like it's going to be around $25 for the first time you use ATM Instant Cash. So the eligibility requirements are a little bit rigid, especially because you're only getting up to $50. So let's talk about it. In order to qualify, you're going to need 3 direct deposits totaling $1,000, a bank account that is at least 60 days old with a positive balance. There also has to be a debit card linked to that account, and you also cannot have a joint bank account. This is kind of a lot for such a low amount, so already I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's worth it, guys. Let's keep going. So you'll connect your account using Plaid, which is a secure software, and it's basically the go-between between your bank and the app. And after connecting, you will be able to see how much you qualify for. In terms of fees to use ATM Instant Cash, there is one flat monthly fee of $3.99 to be able to take out a cash advance. And there's also an express fee for $5 if you want to get the money quickly. I don't really think there's anything negative that stands out about the pricing because $3.99 is not that bad and it's in line with the other cash advances. I would say it's even lower than a lot of them. So there's that. There's also no interest and no late fees, and you don't have to give tips. And there's a personal finance feature if you want to sign up for it for $7.99 a month. It allows you to link multiple accounts and also track your spending better. I don't think it's worth it personally. I really like Cleo's budgeting, and Cleo has a free option where you can do that and it'll help you track your spending. So I recommend if you're wanting something like that, you try Cleo. But it is an option through this app as well if you just want everything in one place. So in terms of reviews, it averages 4.6 stars in both the App Store and Google Play. There's also over 1 million downloads, so this is an app that I guess has been around a while and we just haven't heard of it until now. So there's a lot of positive reviews that are happy about the options to earn some extra money, and they're saying it's also pretty fast and easy to cash out. We do have quite a few negative complaints though. So the earning opportunities are for very small amounts. You can take surveys or watch ads or play games or whatever. And a lot of these are under 10 cents, so it may not be worth your time to even try to do those. You also can't withdraw any of your earnings until you've reached $20. And on top of that, there's also complaints that the customer service is super unresponsive. If you go to the website, it'll even give you a heads up and say that responses can take a long time. And then the last thing we're seeing is that there's a ton of glitches in the app. Now, this has been our experience too when we tried it out. There were a few errors signing in that were frustrating. It was fixable, but it was like still annoying, and that seems to be in line with the other users' experiences. If you're looking for an app like Super, like I mentioned earlier, where you do have opportunities to make a little bit of extra cash, then this is a good option because the subscription fees are definitely lower with this app than they are with Super. However, they also have lower paying opportunities, so it kind of balances out at the end of the day. And I also think if you're a fan of Float Me, you may want to try out this app too. If you're needing a smaller amount of money, then this is an app that you can check out. We didn't notice anything particularly sketchy or out of the ordinary or pricing being too high. So this is definitely one of the options that you guys can check out. All right, let's get started. Cash advance apps. If you've been considering getting one in order to get some quick cash, then this is going to be the video for you. We break down the cost of the most popular cash advance apps and we let you know if there's any hidden fees or costs to look out for. Today, we are going to be looking at the app called Brigit. When I think of this, I think of like Bridgerton or like English people in the traditional ball gowns for some reason. Brigit is a good solution for fast and affordable cash advances, and you can get a cash advance up to $250 with no credit check, no interest, and no late fees. Okay, but hang on, Brigit's a little bit different from the other apps we took a look at because Brigit actually does have some hidden fees, which, by the way, took us a while to figure out what they were. So, is it actually as good as it looks at first glance? Let's find out. Brigit is a full-featured personal finance app that can also help you track your spending, stick to a budget, and also head off costly overdraft fees by automatically sending you a cash advance before the bank balance goes negative. Brigit's also been downloaded more than 4 million times and boasts celebrity backers like Ashton Kutcher and Kevin Durant. As with most of these cash advance apps, Brigit does not require a credit check. You can literally see how much you qualify for within minutes, and within about 30 minutes, you can actually see the money in your bank account. Instead of using a credit check, what it does is it links to your bank account, and then it takes a look at all of your payment history and determines how much you qualify for based on that. Brigit offers cash advances up to $250, but that may not be initially what you qualify for. If you build up a history of recurring deposits, you can slowly work your way up to the $250 max amount. Brigit will also set up automatic repayment of your cash advance on your next payday. As always, you can push it forward if you need more time. It won't charge you any late fees. However, you won't be able to take out another cash advance until the first one's paid off. Okay, cost breakdown. This is going to be an interesting one. So Brigit claims that it has no hidden fees, but I would like to beg to differ. We had to contact customer service 6 times to try to get all of the fees associated with a cash advance. And every time they answered, they still weren't clear. So you're not going to know the full amount of what you're going to be charged to take out a cash advance until you get to the last step of actually taking out the cash advance. But here's what we do know about Brigit's pricing. We know that you have to sign up for a subscription. It's a monthly subscription called Brigit Plus, and it's $9.99 a month, and you need to subscribe to that to be able to take out a cash advance. The express fee is where it gets a little bit sketchy because that is the fee that we weren't able to figure out. It seems to be a closely guarded secret, but we do know that it ranges from around 99 cents to $4.99 depending on the amount that you are taking out. On a positive note, Brigit won't ask you for tips, and there's also no interest either. So let's see how this compares to the cost of the other cash advance apps. So we took 15 of the most popular cash advance apps and took the average of the cost it takes to borrow $100 from them, and our average cost was $16.35. If you're taking out a cash advance with Brigit, however, the cost is only $14.98, and that's including the express fee. If you want to plan ahead and then forego that express fee, it's even lower. So with that express fee, Brigit ranks 7th out of the 15 apps, which is still really, really good. And then if you remove the express fee, it's even better. In summary, Brigit is a pretty swell app compared to the other 14 apps that we have compared costs with. The fact that the fees are not transparent and it took so much trouble to even try to get a solid number kind of turns me off of the app just from like an ethical standpoint, but financially it is definitely worth it to use Brigit. It has the one flat rate monthly fee of $9.99 to take out a maximum cash advance of $250, and then there's no tip, no interest, no late fees. It's pretty simple. So Brigit is definitely one that you might want to check out. Hello, my people. So one of the apps that we reviewed on this channel got sued, and today we're going to talk about it. So by now, most of you are probably familiar with the app Brigit. It is one of the most popular cash advance apps, and it's also our most popular video on this channel. Now, the problem that we had with Brigit was that it was super vague. If you look back at our old video, we were having a hard time figuring out what the fees were, and it was just overall pretty frustrating. We had to contact customer service 6 times to try to get all of the fees associated with a cash advance. And every time they answered, they still weren't clear. Now, apparently we are not the only ones to think that. The FTC ended up suing them for $18 million for misleading advertising. So let's go ahead and go over a list of what they were accused of and what they have changed to bring more transparency to their brand. I'm now going to be joined by my dog. This is Shakti. Everybody say hi. Okay, anyways, Shakti's gonna help me with this video now, apparently, so let's continue. The first thing that Brigit got in trouble for was saying instant cash advances. The cash advances are not, in fact, instant. So now Brigit uses the word fast to describe their cash advances with a footnote that says they'll receive their money usually within 20 minutes. Now we've tried Brigit to see how long it would take to get the money, and it turns out that it showed up in our account in around 8 minutes, so we think that's pretty good. Even though it's not instant, it's still really fast. In their advertising, they also promised $250 for the cash advance, which was not true because a lot of people did not qualify for that amount. Now Brigit says you can qualify for $50 to $250. Now there is a bit of a problem with this because it would be better for them to clarify that people, especially people who are taking out a cash advance for the first time, are unlikely to automatically get the $250 cash advance. They do have a helpful article on how you can qualify for a cash advance. However, in this article, they still don't mention anything about how much you can qualify for. They also leave out the fact that some people don't even qualify for a cash advance, so they should be including that as well. In their advertising, they also said free instant transfers. Now this is also not true. This has never been true. You do have to pay an express fee in order to get the money into your account quickly. The express fee ranges from 99 cents to $3.99, yet they still don't disclose how much the fee is going to be, and this was the exact problem that we had last time, and it still exists. I'm a little bit unhappy about that. I'm a little bit bitter because out of everything, like, this was the one frustration that we had last time, was that they're not being transparent about what the fees are for the express option. Last time we also emailed Brigit's customer service and did not receive a reply about the fees. So to me, there is still a major lack of transparency with this express fee option. And the last thing, Brigit made it extremely hard for people to cancel, which is now biting them in the butt. Brigit charges $9.99 a month to have access to the cash advance feature. They will not let you cancel if you still have an outstanding balance. Brigit made it intentionally hard and confusing to do it. So because of this, Brigit has agreed to basically revamp their cancellation process to be more clear to customers when they'll be billed and give a clear outline on how to cancel, as well as making it easier for them to do so. So where does Brigit go from here? So Brigit was sued for $18 million, and that money is being given to the FTC, which is then going to be used to refund customers who were billed. Brigit still has its spot as the top downloaded cash advance app, so we don't think that's going to change anytime soon. A lot of the information still lacked transparency. A lot of it was in the fine print or still like almost impossible to find, like the express fees. And that was really surprising, especially after Brigit getting sued. You'd think that they would be a lot more careful and a lot more transparent. However, if you can qualify for that higher amount of around the $250 and you're using it more than once a month to take out cash advances, then it is an option that you guys can look into. So just be mindful that it's not the most transparent app, but it can still be helpful. If you guys need some extra cash quickly, then one of the ways you can get that is by using a cash advance app. We're making a series where we take the 15 most popular cash advance apps and we compare all of the hidden costs and the features to kind of give you an idea of which one might be the best for you to use. So today we're going to be looking at the cash advance app called FloatMe. FloatMe is a cash advance app and offers up to $50 with no credit check, no interest, and no late fees. But how does this compare to all of the other cash advance apps out there? Let's check it out. So FloatMe, if we look at it in the App Store, it has been downloaded over 1 million times and it's received more than 100,000 combined reviews in the App Store and Google Play. A lot of these cash advance apps offer other features. With FloatMe, it's just super simple. It's just the cash advance and that's it. It's not trying to be your bank, your credit card, or your brokerage account. It is just very simple. With FloatMe, there's no credit checks. It's going to link to your bank account and then take a look at your payment history. The thing with FloatMe though is that you do need to have a regular paycheck and you do need to have a traditional bank account. It doesn't work with neobanks like Chime or Varo, and it also doesn't work off of benefit or pension payments. You can qualify for up to $50. However, in the very beginning, most people only qualify for $10, sometimes $30. So that's something you really want to take a look at if you're needing more money. It'll set up an automatic payment of your cash advance for your payday. And if that's not enough time for you, you can always push the date forward without having to pay any late fees. So that's always really helpful too. Just keep in mind that you cannot take out another cash advance until the first one's paid off. Okay, cost. This is my favorite part. So the FloatMe app comes with a free 7-day trial, so you can try it out first. but after that 7 days, you have to pay a monthly fee of $1.99. If you want your cash advance sent instantly, then you're also going to have to pay an express fee, and that could be up to $4. If you don't mind waiting 1 to 3 business days to receive your money, then you can skip out on the express fee. FloatMe, unlike a lot of the other cash advance apps, also doesn't ask for tips, so you're essentially just paying the 1 monthly fee of $1.99. So how does this compare to other apps? So we took the average cost of borrowing $50 from the 15 most popular cash advance apps. The average we found was $10.52. If you're going to take out an advance using FloatMe, it's going to cost you $1.99 plus the express fee if we're going down that route, so the total is going to be $5.99. This is way lower than the average cost, and that's even including the express fee. So if you don't use that fee, then you're only paying $2 while the average is $10.99. So that is a pretty good deal. FloatMe comes in at second place. It is one of the most cost-effective ways to borrow $50. The only downside is that $50 is your limit, whereas a lot of cash advance apps have limits at $250 or $500. So if you're looking to borrow more money, you might want to look for other alternatives. And then also keep in mind that you might be capped at $10 initially as well, and not the whole $50. So that is something to think about before you use FloatMe, but overall it is a very cost-effective app. Hi everybody, if you want to get some quick cash or try out a new cash advance app, then we have a new one we're going to be reviewing today. So this new app is called Convey. I am guessing it's a newer app because if you look in the App Store, it's only been downloaded 5,000 times, which is super low compared to all the other apps. I'm excited to dive into this and see if it's worth our time checking out. So the first thing that we should note is that the cash advance amount that you can qualify for with Convey is $150 maximum. However, all apps are going to start at the lower end at first before you build trust by using the app over and over again. It looks like you're going to start around $10 to $15. That's a lot lower than other cash advance apps that will give you $25 up to $100 for your first advance. So as usual, this limit can increase over time the more that you use the app. They don't tell you how long it's going to take for them to increase your amount that you qualify for. However, we strongly suspect it's about $10 a month. So in order to be eligible to use this app, there are a few requirements. First of all, there's no credit check, which is great. That is in line with all of the other cash advance apps. It's going to look at your bank transaction history. So it's going to see what money you've taken out, how much money's been coming in. You need at least $750 in monthly income. So if you have inconsistent income or you're self-employed, then this also might not be the best choice for you. So when they look at your transaction history, they're actually going to look and make sure that you're not spending your money too quickly after it's deposited into your account. So I find this really funny and kind of interesting. I'm sure other apps do this, but yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing that they look for. Also, minimum daily balances, and you also can't have too many overdrafts, so just keep that in mind. Now, a weird one is that you can't have a joint bank account. I find this super strange, and it's kind of hard for me to figure out why you can't have a joint bank account, but registration to see if you're eligible takes about 7 minutes, so this is slower than a lot of the other apps, but not by too much. It usually takes about 5 minutes on average. You'll use a secure software called Plaid, which is going to connect your bank account to the app. It doesn't work with some banks, and you also have to have a direct deposit, so just keep that in mind. If you're uncomfortable giving out your social security number, you don't have to worry because this app does not ask you for one. We also have a hack on how to reduce the fees to use this cash advance, so stay tuned and make sure you watch through the whole thing. Okay, so Convey does have a subscription fee. It's at $9.78 a month to be able to use this feature. You do get a free 3-day trial, but you do have to pay up front before you figure out if you're eligible. Now, it is pretty clear on the app what the subscription fees are. We do really appreciate that upfront disclosure. A lot of the apps try to hide their fees, or there's like extra fees hidden halfway through the process that you don't know about until after you've already started. So this is great. It makes the process a lot less frustrating. And then the hack, guys. Okay, so we talked about this in a previous video, but if you email their customer service, I'll put their email right here. If you email them asking to waive the subscription fee, they will do that for you, so you can use the cash advance without having to pay anything. Yay! I love this hack. And this works for a lot of the other apps too, so recommend you always try emailing them and asking them to waive any subscription fees and seeing if they'll do that for you. It's super easy to cancel the app with just a few clicks, so that is great. However, if you have an outstanding balance, they will not let you cancel. So this is what got certain apps like FloatMe and Brigit into trouble with the regulators, because technically you're not supposed to do that. So that is one aspect of the app that I'm not super happy with, but if you know this up front, then you know, make sure you pay off those advances before you cancel the app. So this app does actually ask for tips. It's optional though, as with all of the other apps. And then there is an express fee. However, it does not disclose what this express fee amount is until after you start the process of using the app, after you're qualified. So that's the thing I was just saying, how there's like fees down the line after you've already started the process. I guess that is happening here with the express fee. So that makes me a little bit unhappy with how it's structured, but hopefully the fees aren't too expensive. And then there's also no interest and no late fees. Okay, so in terms of reviews and what other people are saying, if you go into the Google Store and the App Store, you'll see that it averages 4.6 stars on the Apple Store and 4.3 stars on Google Play. However, if we look at the Google Play, there's less than 300 reviews because, again, it hasn't been downloaded that many times. So there's a lot of positive reviews saying that this app is straightforward and super easy to get their money, which is great. And then negative reviews, of course, there were some people complaining about it being difficult to cancel. So we don't know why this is. It could be because they deleted the app without actually canceling their subscription. So even though the app was gone, they kept getting charged. That's a common mistake that people make. So you always remember to cancel within the app first and don't just delete it, because even if you delete it off your phone, you're still subscribed. And then the other thing is the outstanding advance. So we didn't have a hard time canceling. It was easy for us, but we don't have an outstanding balance. So it all depends on what your personal situation is. Those were the negative reviews, as well as people complaining about getting small amounts up front, like in the $10 range, which I kind of expected. That's a pretty low amount to receive at first, so I understand why people would be unhappy about that. But overall, it seems to be pretty positive. Those seem to be the main negative complaints. Another thing is that you can't take out multiple advances a month. So if you're starting at that $10 and you're paying almost $10 for a subscription fee, that's pretty steep. That may not be worth it to you if you aren't planning on like building up trust with this app and increasing your amount. If you're just doing like a one-off cash advance, then there's definitely better and cheaper options out there. And remember, you can also try the hack where they let you use it for free. So they do have a few simple features. They have like a financial wellness feature, but all it pretty much does is just go over like expenses that you have already. We did try to like ask it for predictions for future expenses, but it was pretty off the mark by more than $10,000. So it's that part of the app is like not super helpful for us in particular. And they also have low bank account balance alert. We recommend just getting the alert straight from your bank so you don't have to worry about a third-party app. But again, might be something useful for you. Overall, this is an interesting app. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and I think it's definitely worth trying, especially with the hack, you guys. I also like that they're pretty transparent about their fees and their pricing, and it's a straightforward process, as said in the positive reviews. The only thing I would say is I would prefer the express fees to be disclosed up front, but what can you do? It can't be perfect. I still think this app has potential. Hello, it is I, your cash advance queen, with new hair and new content coming at you. I have found a lesser known cash advance app called Credit Genie, and today we're going to break down the cost of taking out a cash advance and determine if this is a good cash advance app to use or if there's better options. Credit Genie has a lower cash advance limit than a lot of the other cash advances. It tops out at about 100. Again, you will probably qualify for a smaller amount in the beginning. When you first link your account to Credit Genie, it could set up alerts so that you know if your funds are below a certain threshold, which is kind of helpful. It'll also track your spending habits and offer suggestions on how to better manage your finances. And it also partners with products and services that provide debt relief and can recommend some of those services to you based on your circumstance. So the first thing you want to do to be able to take out a cash advance is to connect your bank account. Credit Genie uses Plaid like most of the other apps where it connects securely to your bank account. Now, with Credit Genie, there are some restrictions on whether or not you can take out a cash advance. The first thing is that your bank account cannot be a joint account and it has to be open for at least 90 days. It also has to contain $750 worth of monthly deposits within the last 90 days, and it has to see that your account has received 2 monthly direct deposits that are no more than 16 days apart. So this app is definitely looking for consistency. Then it's going to analyze your bank account and let you know if you qualify for an advance, and this can range anywhere from $5 to $100. Now, here is where it gets a little bit weird. So for most cash advances, they're going to start you off with a low number. The more you pay off your cash advances successfully and build trust with the app, the more likely they are to give you a higher cash advance, basically. But with this app, there has been a lot of reviews that are 1-star because what happens is people qualify initially for a high amount, like $80 to $100, and then their next cash advance is super low, like $20. Now we have delivery times, which is also a little bit weird. So the delivery times are actually not guaranteed. They have a standard ACH, which will get the money to your account within 3 business days. They have an express ACH, which is supposed to give you the money by 9 p.m. of that day. However, there's a caveat because if you take out a cash advance with the express option after 2 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to postpone your money by a day. So it'll get into your account by 9 p.m. the next day, Eastern time. That's also for business hours, Monday through Friday, so it doesn't say that weekends are included. I think the best option is the instant debit card. If you link your debit card, you can get the money within 30 minutes. Like all the other apps, it will try to schedule the repayment on payday. If you think you need more time, you can definitely push that date farther, but you can't take out another cash advance until you pay it off. Okay, so let's get down to the fee breakdown. So there's usually 3 different fees. There's the subscription fee, there's the express fee, and then there's a tip. So in terms of the subscription fee, this app charges you $4.99 to be able to take out a cash advance. Now, you have to pay this amount before you even take out a cash advance, so you don't get to see if you qualify for anything until after you've paid. There is a 3-day free trial though, so you can take advantage of that and see if you qualify, and then if you don't, you can always cancel before it charges you the $4.99. Just be careful with doing that because you actually have to disconnect your bank account for it to cancel your subscription. They do charge for both the debit card transaction and the express fee option. So this is very unclear. There's not a lot of information on the site. They didn't respond when we requested clarification on the prices. We had to look through the reviews, and according to the reviews, the express fee is $5.99, and then the instant debit card transfer is $11.99. That is very steep. I think that's probably the highest fee that I've ever seen in terms of cash advances. So, ooh, I don't know about this one, guys. And then on top of that, it's going to ask you for a tip. Now, this is optional and it's not going to affect the amount that you qualify for, but this is still something that some people do. To give you an idea of how expensive this app is once you add everything up, if we were to do the instant debit transfer of $11.99, the express fee of $4.99, and then we give a 15% tip, that's going to equal $31.98. For comparison, the average overdraft fee at a bank is $34 to $35. So there's really not a lot of difference there to go through all of the trouble of connecting your bank account and getting a cash advance versus just dealing with the overdraft fee. And then for even more context, if we take the average of the 15 most popular cash advances, we get $15.35. So the $31 compared to $15.35, that's not good. Not good. Even without the tip, it's still like rounding up is like $14. So it's still like $1 below average. And then aside from the cost issue, there's also really poor customer support. They will promise they'll answer emails within 3 days, and a lot of the times they take a lot longer than that. And when they do answer, they're very quick to blame the customers for any issues. And then also their site is pretty clunky, not very user-friendly, and keeps freezing. So, not the greatest experience I've had. Like, most of these cash advance apps that I've reviewed have been somewhat decent. This one, no comment. There's also been reports of issues with the bank account staying linked to Credit Genie, and what happens is when there's a glitch with this, people will try to disconnect and reconnect their bank, and this is like flagged as inappropriate behavior, and they will automatically be blocked from reconnecting for 60 days. So that means they have to wait 60 days to take out another cash advance. So overall, I don't even want to do an overall for this app, to be honest. It's one of the most expensive apps, not really worth it in my opinion, and a lot of issues with customer service and the website itself and linking to the bank account. I think that there are better options out there. You can check out my channel. There are lots of better options out there. Wow, out of all the videos, this was the first like negative review. That's actually pretty good, I would say. So if you've clicked onto this video, you are probably looking to take out a cash advance, and you're probably very overwhelmed because if you've searched for cash advances, you'll see that there's like a lot of options coming up. I analyze these cash advance apps. I let you guys know what all the fees are. Today, I have found a hidden gem of cash advance apps. This one is called Gerald. So when I found this app, it looked pretty cool, but I had two questions. One was, are there any hidden fees? And two, how does it compare with all of the other cash advance apps that I have analyzed so far? So first of all, one of the cool things about Gerald is that, one, it made it into our best cash advance app for gig workers videos. So if you are a freelancer or gig worker and are having a hard time taking out a cash advance, this might be a good app for you. Another thing is that this app does not just offer cash advances. You can get an FDIC insured bank account through them and earn 0.25% back on certain purchases. There's also another option besides a cash advance app, and it's a get paid early option. So you can get access to your next paycheck before it actually hits your account. It will also track any subscriptions that you link to the app and let you know when you're running low on funds. So it's kind of nice having everything all in one spot. So when you're trying to apply for a cash advance app, there's actually a pretty intensive process compared to other cash advance apps. You have to have a positive current balance and your bank account has to be older than 3 months. It also has to show consistent payroll deposits of $100 or more and a history of money left over after each payday. So after this, they'll analyze all of your bank account information and it will let you know if you qualify. So Gerald actually takes a little bit longer than most cash advance apps. When we tried it, it took about a day for it to get back to us to let us know that we qualified. This is pretty slow compared to some apps that let us know like instantly. So Gerald offers up to $215 for a cash advance, but it's unlikely that you'll qualify for that amount initially. If you pay back your cash advances on time, over a period of time, you'll be able to qualify for more money. If you want to, you can link multiple bank accounts, which will also increase your chances of getting a higher advance initially. Okay, so let's talk about the fees. So first of all, you can't access cash advances unless you pay for the premium subscription. The premium subscription is $9.99 and it's not going to let you know if you qualify until you actually purchase a subscription. In order to get your money, you can use the standard option, which has 0 fees, but it can take a few business days. Then there's also an express fee, which is $3.99, but you have to link it to a debit card that you have, and there's a lot of reviews saying that there was issues with this being able to be completed. And then there's a tip option. This is optional and it will not affect your ability to get an advance if you choose to skip it. So assuming we want instant delivery and we leave a 15% tip, the cost to take out a cash advance instantly with Gerald is $28.98. That is quite above average. The average cost is $15.35 to take out a cash advance. There's also another option for Amazon purchases. You can actually use your cash advance to pay for Amazon items and they will not charge you any extra fees for that. You can also do that through the free plan, so you don't have to pay the $9.99 subscription. So that is also another option. So overall, this is a fairly okay app, especially if you're a gig worker. This is going to be one of the easiest apps to use for cash advances. However, the express fee is risky. It doesn't always work. If you're not able to do that, then you have to wait like up to 5 business days to get your money. So that is definitely a downside. The plus side is that if you don't use the express fee and you don't tip, it is below average in terms of costs for taking out cash advance. If we're looking at other consumer reviews, it only has a 3.1 out of 5 stars based on 2,000 ratings, and then the BBB gave it an F for the company's failure to respond to complaints. So definitely use this app at your own risk. There are better options out there. We have a whole bunch of other videos going over some of our favorite apps. I hope this video gave you a thorough overview of Gerald. As always, make sure you like the video and subscribe so you can get more information on cash advances, where I do all of the hard work so you don't have to go around checking out a million of these things. Koho.
Koho.
Koho. Koho.
Koho.
Koho.
First of all, Koho can give you a cash advance of up to $250 with no interest. It's also a mobile banking app that has a lot of other features and has already helped over 1 million Canadians. So first of all, you have to qualify to be able to use the features of Koho. Some of these features include Koho's prepaid MasterCard, which gives you up to 2% cash back on different purchases, and also a high interest savings account that will give you up to 5% in interest. This sounds pretty good so far. So Koho's cash advance feature is called Cover, and initially you're only going to qualify for $50, which is a fairly low amount. You can increase this amount up to $250 though if you make timely payments and use the app multiple times. So Koho claims claims that anyone can qualify for cover. However, we did notice that not everyone has this feature available initially, and you have to use the app and its features in order to unlock it. If you don't qualify at first, you can increase your chances of being eligible by adding funds to your Koho account, keeping a balance and spending with Koho, setting up direct deposits to your Koho account, and using its other services such as the credit building or the high interest savings account. Once you qualify, you'll then be sent an invite. So once you get the $50, you won't have any minimum payments. However, it is recommended that you repay this in a timely manner so you can increase the amount that cover gives you up to $250. With Koho, there's no interest, there's no tips, there's no late fees. There's also no express fee because the money will immediately show up in your account. However, there is a subscription. In order to have access to cover, you have to pay the subscription, which is $2, and it goes up as you unlock higher limits to your cash advance. Now, this is a fee on top of the Koho Essential subscription, which is $4 a month. You do need to be subscribed to that. However, you can waive the fee by making direct deposits. So if we add those two fees together, the subscription fee and then the cover fee, that's going to be $6 a month to take out an advance, which is $50 initially. Now, when you look at it that way, it's a little bit steep. However, if you're using this app over a long period of time and multiple uses, it could be worth it. So this app has done fairly well on the Google Play Store. It has 4.6 out of 5-star reviews, which is not bad. When we look at the negative reviews, there's a few issues that really stand out. The first one seems to be that when the app updates, the technical issues can lock people out of their accounts, and it takes a while for them to get that sorted. It also looks like Koho can take some of the features and add it to a higher paying tier, so you may lose access to certain things after you subscribe. And it also looks like it's a little bit difficult to contact customer service. So overall, this is a fairly good app if you're looking at using something on a consistent basis. If you're just looking to take out one sole cash advance, then this might not be the best option for you. There's other options such as Nibble, which offers a $150 cash advance for an $8.99 fee, or Bree, which offers $250 for a fee of $2.99 plus an express fee. Also, if you're looking for more banking features, especially the cashback feature is really good through Koho. So if you're looking for a well-rounded app, then this might also be an app to check out. Alright guys, we finally found a new cash advance app. It is called the Money app, and it's currently number 47 in the App Store, which means it's already outranking a lot of other popular cash advances that we have on this channel, including Cleo and Varo. So I am super excited to review this today. So Money app is a cash advance app that will give you up to $250 as an advance. Let's go through the advance limits, the eligibility, the fees, and then what other people have to say about this app. So as for the cash advance limit, Money app will let you take up to $250 as a cash advance. However, as with most apps, you're probably going to get a lower amount to start with. So the good thing about this app is that actually the average is $100, which is a lot higher than some of the other apps we've reviewed. The other apps will give you like around $25 to start with if it's your first time taking out an advance. So this is currently a good sign already. Okay, so in terms of eligibility, as with all other cash advance apps, there is no credit check, so that's great. And then registration is going to take about 5 minutes, so it's a pretty short process and pretty much in line with the other apps that we've reviewed. So you'll connect your bank account with the Money app using Plaid, which is a software that just connects the two securely. So there's 2 points here that will kind of throw you off a little bit. The first point is that it doesn't work with all banks. You need to make sure that your bank qualifies and is able to connect to this app. And then the second thing is that you will need a direct deposit. So that means gig workers like myself might have trouble using this app. So another thing that's a bit of a bummer is that it is not available in about 15 states. And last but not least, like all other cash advances, you will start with a lower amount than that $250. So we're looking at probably about $25 to $100. Now, like I said, the average says it's about $100, so that's higher than the other app, but there's still a chance you could get a very low amount like $25. So just keep that in mind. As you build up a track record with the app, it'll eventually increase your rate. So this is in line with all the other apps as well. Let's get into the fees. In terms of fees, you'll be happy to know that there is no late fee, there is no interest, there's no tips, and there's no subscription fee. So already it's looking pretty good. There is an express fee. So the express fee starts at $4.99, and the $4.99 is for advances $50 and under. It goes up to $9.99 for cash advances of $100, and then the maximum amount is $12.99, and that is for the maximum cash advance of the $250. So the good thing about this is that it is just one flat fee, and you also get to know what the fees are up front because they have them listed on their website, which not a lot of apps have that directly on the website, so kudos to the Money app for doing that. In terms of the cost, that's pretty reasonable. It's pretty average compared to all of the other apps that we've reviewed. reviewed. There's not anything that's like disturbing or really high in cost there that stands out to me. And you can also use this app completely for free if you're okay with waiting 3 business days to get the money. So that sounds like a very good deal if you can plan ahead. So let's get into the ratings and reviews. So in the Google Play Store, it has an average of 4.1 stars, and in the App Store, it has an average of 4.6 stars. So this is actually pretty good. When I scroll through, I don't see any consistent 1-star reviews like with other apps, Beam. But I swear, I feel like I just hate on Beam all the time in all of my videos. But anyways, so some of the positive reviews that I've seen is that the cash comes in super fast into the bank account once you qualify. And also people appreciate that there's only one upfront fee and there's no like subscription fee or anything like that. There's also some negative reviews that are complaining about not being qualified, which is kind of like to be expected with all of these apps. So nothing is really sketchy there. Some users have had their borrowing privileges revoked without explanation, and then other people have had a hard time contacting customer service. Apparently it's only available through chat, and sometimes they have a hard time responding. So those are kind of the negatives that you should look out for if you're wanting to try the app. I think overall my favorite thing about this app is that it's just straightforward. There's just one flat fee, and that's just for the express fee. If you don't want to use the express fee, you can use it for free. So that's added to our free apps list, which is great. Just keep in mind that if you're looking for full banking apps with other features, you won't find that here. Money app just focuses on cash advances only. They don't offer any other features. So if you're just looking for a simple solution, then this is still a great option. There's a lot of apps that kind of copy the name, so you want to look for Money app and make sure you're downloading the right one, and just make sure to double check that before you take out a cash advance. We don't really have any hardcore negative things to say about it, and I think it's going to become one of the more popular apps. Hello my people, today we are going to be analyzing cash advance apps. If you are looking to get some quick cash and you're thinking about using one of these apps, then we've done all the hard work for you by breaking down the costs and the fees. Today we're going to be looking at a specific app called Line. Line provides cash advances up to $500. There's no credit check, there's no interest, and there's no late fees. So this looks like a pretty good deal, but we don't know how it's going to compare to the other 14 apps that we've analyzed, so that's what we're going to break down in this video. Line doesn't have any income restrictions, so if you've been having trouble qualifying with other lenders or other cash advance apps, then this is definitely an app that you want to check out because you could get qualified with them. This app has been downloaded close to 1 million times and has received more than 25,000 reviews combined in the Apple Store and Google Play. It also has tools to help you create a budget, track your spending and savings goals, monitor your credit score, and file your taxes. With Line, there's no credit check, and it's going to securely link to your bank account and look at your account history. Now with Line, you do not have to be employed to qualify. You just have to have some sort of income. So you do need to be working, but not necessarily under an employer. Unlike some of the other apps, you can also qualify as a gig worker if you work for places such as Uber or Lyft. You can qualify within minutes for up to $500, but keep in mind a more realistic amount to start with is probably going to be around $20 to $50 that it's going to cap you at initially, until you eventually increase to that full amount. Once you start repaying your advances, you'll be able to work your way up to the $500 limit. One of the cool features about this app is that not only can you get it deposited directly into your bank account, but you can also get the money put on a gift card from a major retailer. So you have multiple options there instead of just cash in your account. Line will schedule an automatic repayment of your cash advance once it sees that you have sufficient funds in your account. If you need more time to pay it back, then you don't have to worry about late fees, but you also can't take out another cash advance until the first one's paid off. All right, let's take a look-see at the cost breakdown. So I'm going to pull up my chart here. There are 2 subscription tiers for Line. The first one is $2.47. You can take out up to $100 at a time, and the express fee for each advance is $4. The medium plan, which I'm a little bit confused about the name because the medium plan should be in the middle, but it's like the last plan out of 2, is $9.97, and the express fee is $2, and you can borrow up to $500 at a time. Initially, you may not be eligible for the $500. However, in some cases, as time goes on, you can increase your limit to up to $1,000. That's so far the highest amount that I've seen with these apps. You'll also get Line's credit and identity theft monitoring with this plan, and you can get up to $1 million in identity theft insurance. Unlike most of the apps, Line does not ask for any tips, so we don't have to worry about that cost at all. So now let's see how this compares to the 14 other apps. We know by this chart that the average of borrowing $100 is going to cost you about $16.35. While you're on the small plan, you might reach $100 eventually, but to start, you're probably not going to be eligible for that much. So if we want to immediately borrow $100, we're going to have to start with the medium plan, which is the $997 plan. If we take out an advance with the express fee, that's going to total $11.97, which is pretty good because that is $7 lower than the average cost. On top of that, these prices are fixed, so whether you borrow $100 or $500, the cost is going to remain the same. Overall, this is one of the better cash advance apps that I've seen. It's quick and easy, it offers a good amount of cash advance, up to $500, and it also has a host of other features besides just the cash advance itself, which I find helpful. On top of that, you don't have to be employed to use Line, which is really helpful, especially if you're a freelancer like myself and don't have a consistent paycheck. Alright, hello everyone! As we all know, I love finding you guys different cash advance apps to use in a pinch. Today I have found a new one. It's actually on a website and it's called super.com. And today we're going to be reviewing it and seeing if super is actually a super choice or if there's some sketchiness going on. So this website is called super.com and it was actually formerly known as Snap Travel. First it was offering travel discounts, but it's kind of morphed into one big super app. These are popular in Asia. You can basically do everything in one place. You can use this app for cash advances, for Super Pay, which is like a credit card attached to its own bank account, getting discounts and cash back on travel, and discounted prices on gas, phone plans, and insurance policies. Kind of an odd mix of everything, but you know, if it works, it works. This app has raised $85 million just this year. So having two names for this app, Snap Travel and super.com, can kind of like make things a little bit muddled. However, we find this data to be slightly suspect because on the Play Store, we can only find 500,000 downloads compared to the 5 million that they claim to have. It also ranks number 183 in finance on the App Store, which is not super impressive. And in the Play Store, it is under the travel category. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and break down the cost of using the cash advance, and then we're gonna go into people's opinions and reviews that we found about this app. So first of all, if you wanna take out a cash advance with super.com, you have to be a member, and that is a flat rate of $15 a month for the subscription fee. That is a flat rate of $15 a month for a subscription, and that's going to allow you to take out the cash advance. Already, it's starting to get a little bit pricey. The advances themselves take up to 3 days to process, and there is an express fee like most apps, and this ranges from $3.99 to $6.99 depending on how much you are able to take out for the cash advance. I should also mention that the limit for the cash advance is $200, and you can get that with no interest, no fees, and no credit check like most cash advances that I've reviewed here. And you also probably won't qualify for the full $200 at first because that seems to be the trend among most apps. You'll start being able to borrow a smaller amount first, and then gradually as you build history with this app, you'll be able to reach the maximum $200. So on top of the subscription fee and the express fee, we also have a tip, which is usually 15%. This is not mandatory, but we just like to include it. So overall, our calculations, if we were to take out a $100 cash advance with super.com and we wanted our money instantly, so we're paying the express fee, and then we're also leaving a $15 tip, that's going to be $34.99 just to take out a cash advance, which compared to the average of most of our cash advances that we've looked at, those results are not great. Don't take out a cash advance with this app. Just don't. The average price of cash advances has gone up in the past 6 months, and right now it's at about $19.08, which is still way lower than the $34.99 that you would pay to use super.com. Luckily, I would assume most people are using this app to get like the full range of features, but if someone is using this solely for cash advance, please don't. Okay, so now that we have the cost breakdown of this app, let's go ahead and look at people's reviews. So surprisingly, a lot of people are actually fairly happy with this app, but the problem is most of these reviews are talking about the travel aspect of the app and not necessarily the cash advances. It appears as though a lot of people are getting screwed over by the app and they will overbook, and then when the person shows up for their reservation, it will magically disappear with no room available and no record of the transaction. So that is fun. And then there's a ton of people questioning its validity. They're saying, is super.com legit? There's also really bad customer service. It's looking like a lot of people aren't getting their issues resolved. One tiny green flag amongst the pile of red ones is that the company does seem to be pretty responsive to complaints. So at least that's something, right? Since I was on the app, I kind of took a look at some of the cashback offers, and and some of them didn't seem that bad. The problem is they were one-time use only or only available for 14 days after you subscribe, though it isn't the greatest long-term. There's a 30 cents off a gallon for gas offer, but it's a headline offer, so that's going to expire after one use. There was also 8% off of CVS, which is probably a deal that's kind of hard to find in other places, so that might be something worth looking into. However, if we're just looking at this app in terms of cash advances, it's horrible. Don't do it. There are much better options, which you can see us review in some of our other videos. If you I can't talk, why? Why? As always, if you guys found this helpful, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the little bell, which will give you notifications each time we have a new review up. Also, give me a little thumbs up, as it motivates me to keep going. Today, we're going to be looking at the cash advance app B9 specifically. So B9 at first glance is a great solution for a cash advance. You can get it quickly, you can get a cash advance for up to $500, and it does not require a credit check. But upon further research, is it as good as it looks? Are there hidden fees? That's what we're going to take a look at today. Alright, so if we take a look at B9 in the App Store, we can see that it's been downloaded over 100,000 times and it's received more than 5,000 reviews combined in the App Store and Google Play. Compared to other apps like Dave and Albert, it has not been downloaded nearly as many times. You'll also get up to 5% cash back when you use the B9 Visa debit card to pay for things like gas or restaurants. One unique feature about this app is that you do get 5% cash back if you use the B9 Visa debit card to pay for things like gas or restaurant. B9, like most other cash advance apps, is not going to require a credit check, so you can literally see how much you qualify for within seconds. What it does is it links to your bank account and then it takes all of your payment history from that and determines your financial health and then gives you your approved amount based on that. You may initially be approved for a smaller amount, but as you use the app over a month or two, you can increase the amount up to $500 per pay period. It'll also set up an automatic repayment of your cash advance for your next payday. If you need more time, you can always push that forward and it won't charge you late fees, but just know that you can't borrow any more money until that has been paid off. So B9 is set up a little bit differently than some of the other cash advance apps that we've seen. For B9, you actually need to subscribe in order to take out a cash advance. For the basic plan, it's $9.99 and you can get a cash advance up to $100. And then the premium plan is $19.99 and you can get a cash advance up to $500. As long as you keep paying them off, you can keep taking out cash advances, which is kind of cool. So other than just that flat subscription rate of either $9.99 or $19.99, there's no tips, there's no interest, and there's no express fees. So that's really cool and really convenient. Okay, so how does this compare to the other cash advance apps? Let's take a look. So we took 15 cash advance apps and we looked at how much it would cost for each one to take out $100. We averaged that and the average amount is $16.35. If we're comparing that to the basic plan of B9 at $9.99 to take out a $100 cash advance app, that's pretty awesome. It is the second lowest cost out of all of the apps to borrow $100. And what you can do if you don't want to pay the $19.99 is just pay the $9.99 and pay off the $100 cash advance and keep taking out $100 cash advances instead of paying $19.99 and taking it all in one lump sum of $500. Turns out less than half the people take all of their vacation days. But the good news is a new company is making it easy to turn your unused vacation days into cash. With Sorbet, you can get a cash advance for up to $3,000 based in part on the value of your unused vacation days. It's basically like a PTO cash advance and you can use the money for whatever you want to. You can pay off credit card debt, you can renovate your home, heck, you could even use the money to take the vacation now. Before I get too far into this video, I do want to mention that Sorbet did ask us to review their product and is sponsoring this video. However, our channel values integrity and so we're always going to give you an honest review. We're also going to highlight some things from Sorbet that you may want to be aware of. So first of all, 3 great things about Sorbet. The first one is there is no credit check. It uses your PTO data, your bank account data, and other information to determine how much you'll be eligible for. Rates are also super competitive with other personal loan providers. Sorbet's rates range from 9.99% to 36% APR, and there's no origination fee. If you're borrowing from other personal loan providers, this can cost up to several $100s. Sorbet's range of rates does stack up with other lenders who do require a credit check to qualify. One of the best things about Sorbet though is that you can make small monthly interest payments until you leave your job and get paid for unused time off. This is different than a traditional personal loan where you might be on the hook for a payment that costs you hundreds of dollars each month. So let's get into how Sorbet works. To qualify, you do not have to have a credit check as we stated earlier. You need to have regular employment or a W-2 to qualify, so this will not work for gig workers. You need to earn at least $30,000 a year. If you're a government employee or work for some other type of large organization like a hospital, there's a good chance that you're also going to be eligible. You also need to have some PTO already saved up, because this is a PTO cash advance essentially. So if you've been at your job for a couple of years and you haven't used all of your vacation time, then this would be a great way to make use of those hours. The more eligible PTO days you have saved up, the more you'll be able to borrow. Just make sure that you have been at your job long enough for those times to accumulate, because if you're new on the job, you're probably not going to have enough PTO for it to be worth it. So the big thing about Sorbet is that your company's PTO plan does have to meet some requirements in order to qualify, such as your paid days off need to carry over from year to year, and you get paid out for accumulated PTO once you leave the company. Sorbet can help you find the details of your company's policy if you get confused, and you can also contact their customer service and they'll help you out there as well. They can be contacted over phone and email, so if you're an introvert like me, you don't have to actually talk to someone on the phone, which is helpful. So you may already know this info about your company's plan, and if not, then you definitely should. You may be sitting on a good chunk of change with your unused PTO, or if you won't get paid for it later, then why are you just letting it expire and become worthless? Go take some days off. You can also see what you qualify for in minutes with Sorbet's easy online application. When you go through the application, you'll use a simple and secure service called Pinwheel. It's going to connect Sorbet with your company's payroll so they can go in and find that information electronically. It works very similarly to Plaid, which is an app that connects most of the cash advances that we've reviewed on this channel. And fun fact, we will be using Plaid to connect Sorbet to our bank account, so there's that too. A good thing here is that Sorbet will not contact your employer and let them know that you're taking out a PTO cash advance. And there's also no impact on your credit score. You will, however, need to upload a few documents. You will need probably a pay stub and also a PDF of your company's paid time off policy. You can usually find this in your company's handbook. Once you accept the offer, the funds will be transferred into your account within 5 business days. If you want to receive it faster, there is an express option that will give it to you within 30 minutes. However, this does come at a cost. This is one of the aspects of the app that I am a little bit disappointed about. I would love to see faster delivery times and also lower fees. So in terms of other fees besides the express fee, the good thing about Sorbet is that you're only paying off the interest every month until you leave your job. This keeps the monthly payments super low. As I mentioned earlier, it's 9.99 to 36% APR. And after you apply through Sorbet's website, you'll be able to see which rate you qualify for. So let's say the loan amount is $2,000 and you're paying back the monthly amount of $24. The number of payments will be 24 and the interest rate is 12%. When you leave your job or after 2 years, you'll repay the principal of that $2,000. Now let's say you borrow a little bit more and have a higher interest rate. So now let's say you want to borrow $2,500. Your monthly payment will now be $49.98 with 24 payments and an interest rate of 23.99%. The principal due at the end of the loan term will then be your original $2,500. So those monthly payments are pretty reasonable by themselves, but keep in mind that they do add up the longer that you're paying the loan. So for example, if you kept the $2,500 loan out for 24 months at that interest rate of 23.99%, you're going to be paying $1,200 in interest costs. That is crazy. So you do want to watch how long you want to keep that loan out. So you'll be making these automated payments to Sorbet each month. And remember, the only thing that you owe monthly is just the interest. Once you leave your job, the principal or the initial amount that you needed to take out for the loan will be due. Depending on how you've used your PTO after taking out this loan, your last paycheck will have all of the unused PTO hours, and you can easily use that to repay your PTO cash advance from Sorbet. So that is if you leave your job. If you don't leave your job, then after 2 years, you'll owe that initial amount. If you have a bunch of unused PTO, this may be a good opportunity to refinance your PTO cash advance if you're not ready to pay it back yet. You can also pay back part or all of your loan whenever you want, so that will decrease your interest. You don't need to leave your job to repay the loan early, and there's also no prepayment penalty. So if you could swing it, it's a good idea to pay down that principal to decrease your interest costs. Overall, Sorbet is a really innovative way to turn some of those savings that you may not have known you even had into some cash. There's no credit check, there's an ability to access larger amounts, and the rates are also comparable to other personal loan providers. The interest-only payments means that the costs are pretty low, and you also have a lot of flexibility about when you pay back that balance. The only thing I would warn about here is that try not to keep the loan out for too long or pay down your initial amount so your interest decreases, because otherwise you're going to be paying a bunch of money in interest, so you do want to plan for that. They're growing rapidly and there are some growing pains, and they are working on things like faster times to get approved for the loan. Overall though, it's pretty easy to use and see what you qualify for, and we suspect it's just going to keep getting better and better the longer that it's on the market. So here's our top 5 cash advance picks for Canada. Okay, so the first one we have is Bree. Bree is a Canadian app that can loan you up to $250. There's no credit check, and you can also choose when you repay that cash advance. Unlike some apps that require you to pay them back in a specific amount of time, with Bree you have up to 30 days to pay back that cash advance. And it's not going to charge you interest or late fees. It also makes some pretty amazing claims. It says that you can take out a cash advance with no interest and no fees. So let's see if that's true. So first of all, to qualify for Bree, you have to be at least 18 years old, you have to be a Canadian resident, and also have a Canadian bank account. You also need to have some sort of regular income, and this can be shown through at least 2 consistent paychecks. The good news is there's no credit check. Now, although it says people can borrow up to $250, if you're a new user, you most likely will qualify for less than that until you build up a track record with the app, in which case you can build up the amount that it is able to loan you pretty quickly until you reach that $250 cap. Okay, so now for the claims. Bree says you can borrow the cash advance money for no fees, and this is somewhat true, but it's kind of like bending the truth a little bit. There is no interest and there's no late fees. However, if you want your money quickly, there is a fee for the express option. Now this fee can be pretty pricey. It can start at $9.99 for a $100 cash advance and go all the way up to $22.99 on a $250 cash advance. If you plan ahead, you can skip these fees, of course, but it will take up to 3 business days to see the money in your account. Bree also asks for tips, but of course those are optional and you can be the judge on whether or not you want to leave one. So here's the kicker. Bree does charge $2.99 a month for a subscription for you to access this feature. You have to really dig into the fine print to find that, so just keep that in mind that it is not entirely free to take out a cash advance with Bree. On the bright side, you get to try out your first month for free, so it's always worth a shot to see if it's an app that you might want to use long term. Now we have Koho. Koho is one of the most popular mobile banking apps with over 1 million users. It's a savings and spending account and also has a debit card. So one of the features that Koho has is called Cover, and that is essentially a cash advance that will loan you up to $250. These are interest-free cash advances, and you start at $50 and work your way up to the $250 cap. As long as you repay these advances on time and you continue to build a track record with the app, you can increase it up to the maximum of $250. So Cover is really an overdraft line that you can access whenever you need it. It is through the Koho banking system, so if you are unable to pay a bill, Cover's there to, well, cover you. It's also there if you want to make a purchase with your debit card or withdraw cash from an ATM, so there's multiple ways that this is useful. There's no interest or late fees, however, there is a monthly subscription fee to access the features of Koho. A downside is that because Koho works as an overdraft credit line, it is going to take the money that you put into the account and immediately put that towards paying back the cash advance, so it is more of a short-term solution than it would be if you use like an actual cash advance app. Okay, so here's a cost breakdown for Koho. There's 3 different subscription plans, and the Essentials plan costs $4 a month, so that includes the Koho debit card, and you'll also get 1% cash back when you use it to pay for things like groceries, dining, and transportation. You can also get the fee waived by moving your direct deposits to Koho or by depositing at least $500 a month into your Koho account. If you qualify for Cover and want to access it, you then have to pay an extra fee, which starts at $2, and there's no interest or express fees. Our third pick is called Nibble. Nibble is a line of credit, also called Cover, and it covers $30 to $150 to manage unexpected expenses. It's available whenever you need it, and there's quick access, so this really helps people in between paydays in a pinch. There's no credit check for initial access, no late fees, and no credit check. You can also take up to 30 days to repay this line of credit, and there's also additional tools that will help you manage and build credit. Now, in order to qualify, you do have to be an employee or have some sort of government income. You also have to have a Canadian bank account and be depositing consistently. And you can't be regularly overdrawing with NSF transactions, which stands for non-sufficient funds. So just keep that in in mind. Okay, so the cost to use Nibble ranges from $4.99 to $7.99 after your first month in order to use the feature. Now, this is pretty high, especially compared to the cost of Brie, especially when you add on its express fee, which can range from $2.99 to $5.99. So now we have PocBox. If you're not sure whether a personal loan or a cash advance is better for you, you can use PocBox. It basically lets you comparison shop for multiple lenders within minutes. So if you're looking for $100, $1,000, $10,000, more than $10,000, then PocBox is super helpful. It can help you find and match with a great lender no matter what your credit score is. So if you have bad credit, you can qualify for a loan from Brie, from Nibble with no credit check. And if you do have great credit, you might get multiple offers for personal loans with rates as low as 6.99%. So with PocBox, there's no cost to see what you qualify for, and more than a dozen lenders will compete for your business. So it really is a great app to see what options you have available to you. So overall, those are the 5 apps/websites that we think would be super helpful if you live in Canada and you're looking for a personal loan or a cash advance. Honestly, I think it would be super helpful to check out PocBox first to see if you can match and get some lower rates, and then from there branch out to Koho, Nibble, or Brie. I hope you found this super helpful. As always, if you like the content, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you later for the next cash advance video.